April 4th. This guy gets the early bird award. Another beautiful day in the spring. I guess 2021 has 2 early birds. They get the prize. So I let all the anchor chain and line out over the boat to pile up on the ground. And I pull it up and coil it and look at it all to make sure that nothing is looks like it's not going to last another season. I'm not that picky, as you can see. I think this is fine. A little discoloration. This anchor locker gets a bit wet. The hinge is broken. Have to work on that so that it stays closed when the waves pound. It has a drain, as you can see. That's not much of a drain. If we were to lose this hatch, this thing would, be full of water all the time. Granted, it's not that big, which is good. But I'm going to pull the rest of the line and chain in, make sure everything's good. The pin is missing out of this hinge. This pin was replaced with a screw at some point, so that's basically missing as well. On this side where the closure is, there's some breaking around the spot where the piston goes in. I mean, it's functional, but that can bring a little water in too. I'm going to start putting some of the railings back in. Not all of them, just some of them. Some tools of choice are screwdriver and WD-40. Because I removed those set screws, slide it down, put the screw back in with a little oil. That makes it easier to get out next season. So, silly me, I thought I was going to be able to go to one of the boating stores here and pick up a paintbrush to finish painting that hatch my father made, or that floorboard my father made with the hatch in it. Except it's Easter Sunday, so of course the stores are closed. What am I thinking? Little stores in a quiet little town. Anyway, so maybe I'll come back. I'm going to leave that piece here. It's going to be sunny all week. I'm going to try to come in a weeknight after work and just to put a coat of paint on it, and maybe I'll come and do half at a time, half one day, half another, give it a chance to dry, and then I'll come back and put it in place when I can. It's not supposed to rain till next Saturday. It's Sunday right now, so I think I'm okay time-wise. I should have some nice days, all in the 60s temperature-wise, highs in the 60s, and I should be able to take care of that. So the only thing else I did today was put the railings on. I was only going to put one side on, but then I remembered how nice it is to walk up on deck and having a little bit of security on the side. So I decided just to go ahead and do both sides. Once the canvas cover off, once the tarp is off, there's no reason not to put them back on. The only reason I take them off is because of the tarp. So the boat registration arrived in plenty of time before the season. I was actually at my daughter's house, and she has a laminator, so I laminated it. So maybe we'll hang it up somewhere, I don't know. I also got back the federal government documentation form, so that's all set. The boat will be legal to go in the water. That's all done. The only thing I haven't gotten yet is I applied for a radio station license for a boat. A boat station license is required if you want to get a MMSID that can be used all over the world instead of just the United States. My last boat, I had an MMSID from Boat US, which is great, but it's invalid outside of the country. So if you're in an area where you're never gonna go into Canada or other places, that works out just fine. And with the old boat, I knew I wasn't gonna go anywhere that far away. Even Canada would have been a stretch. But with this boat and my plans for it, I do plan on visiting a couple of foreign nations, one of which being Canada. That'll be the first one. So I'll need that. So that I applied for many weeks ago. It actually should be arriving sometime before the middle of April. I hope it does, because I had to lay out a few $100 for it, but it's good for 10 years, and so I'll be legal to use my radio outside of the United States. The other access port arrived way ahead of schedule. I didn't expect it for another 2 or 3 weeks based on the delivery of the old one, so it came rather fast. So we can do the same thing to the forward water tank that we did to the aft water tank, which will probably be done next weekend. So the first coat on this is done. It's my little after work project. I'll come down and do this. I'll come down another day this week probably and put a second coat on it, or at least touch up this coat. It's Wednesday morning, about 2 minutes to 6 p.m. and it's t-shirt weather. Well, I have a sweatshirt on. But looking at the water, looking at the wind, it makes me want to get out there. More boats are uncovered now this week, and more people out there working on them. Positive signs. This piece still needs paint. This one's pretty good. I think I'm just going to do the edges. It's a thing of beauty now. The river's low. It's about 68 degrees. Second weekend in April. We're starting to see boats in the water. This is really the beginning of the season. Although I'm not going to launch my boat probably till near the end of May. It's good to see the activity. A number of boats have been launched. The boat that had its hatch open all winter is just gone. I don't see it in the nearby area like on the dock, so I wonder if it was taken away by truck. I don't know. Well, it's not the best painting job I ever did, but it's also not the worst. I'm just glad nobody is going to be seeing it where it is, except for my faithful viewers. And my father, and my children. I'll run the charger. You'll remember this is where the fuel tank was, and over the top of the fuel tank is a bunk. And the giant cushion and the board are over here, which is in the way of everything. Also a future, very soon project, which is putting an access port in the top of this water tank. So I'm just going to throw these things back in the aft cabin while we're waiting for our new tank to be built. Oddly enough, it doesn't seem to want to fit in the hole. Isn't that weird? Up against the side. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay, to get it in, I had to put this edge in first and then just sort of scrape it down the wall. Not make me happy, but I don't know. Can't worry about it today. Anyway, I'm going to throw the cushion back on here again just to get it out of the way. Well, at least putting the cushion back in was a lot easier than taking it out. Probably because it's flexible. I've been carrying these things around on the boat for 1.5 years. The purpose of these things is that when you're on a dock that's not a floating dock, you're next to pilings, you put a rope on each end, tie the piece of wood up to the railings at a certain height, and you put cushions behind it. So then the side where the wood hits against the piling. So if the boat shifts a little bit front or back, the piling catches on the wood, the big target, and the boat is protected by the cushions. I've been carrying them around for 1.5 years, So I thought I needed them in a particular situation. I figured, well, if I need them once, I'll just carry them. And it turns out the time I needed them, I didn't need them. And I've been carrying them, and I haven't needed them since. So I think they're going to go in my car, because there is just no good place to keep these things. So if you take the tarps away, this area is a lot less cluttered. I love it when a plan comes together. Although getting those screws in on that side is going to be a bit rough, but the piece fits. The hatch will go there. The little top hatch piece I know fits there, so that's all good. In fact, I'll put that in now. There's no sense in not putting it in. Hang on. There we go. It's in there. Rocks a little bit, holding it out of shape. When I screw it all down, it probably will rock a little bit, but it does what it needs to do. Well, at least before I remove the table to give us good access to the tank, I'll enjoy my lunch. It's supposed to only be in the 60s today, but in the sun, it's a lot hotter. The screws are going in fairly easily. I hope that trend continues. So all the screws are in. Now I just gotta get the wire ties out and the zip ties and get this stuff all packaged up again. So here it is with all the zip ties. Everything's back in place. I even got some junk in there. Back to being a storage area. Yay. So we cut the hole in the top of the tank using the same jig, but for some reason it came out a little bigger than last time. So we had to drill holes that were farther away from the center so that we could, get some of that tank top to grab onto. So the 8 screws are going to be in these outer holes. The tank is full of antifreeze and plastic, but I neglected to bring the shop vac with me today, so that's just going to have to sit there until another day when I bring it down and suck it all out. And there's the finished product. Just cleaning to do now for the water tanks. Sweaty still. I just received a phone call from the canvas guy who's working on the Dodger, and he called to tell me that he can't find the whole Dodger. He can only find part of it. So he called to tell me that. So he was relieved to hear that actually I didn't give him the whole thing. So that made him very happy. So all is well. He's telling me he's starting on it, and he'll be done sometime in the next 2 weeks probably, which is perfect. I talked to one of the guys up in the marina and asked him about the tank. The tank is on schedule. I will have it, the beginning of May. I set a launch date with the marina for May 20th, which is 5 or 6 weeks away. Pretty tight. I had a lot to do in 5 weekends. But if I can't make it, we can always move the launch date, although I don't want to, because that puts the boat in the water the weekend before Memorial Day weekend, which means I have a weekend here at the dock to tidy it all up and get everything loaded. And then the following weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we can move the boat down to Old Saybrook. And then I'm registered for an event in June, the weekend of June 12th, called Off Soundings. And looks like it's going to be on this year, although in a limited way. It's an event where they have 2 days of racing, 1 race each day usually, and usually there's some distance involved. But instead of this event going to Block Island this year, which is what they usually do, They usually have a race to Block Island from the Watch Hill area, and the second day they usually race around Block Island. And they have a couple of good receptions. So this year, no receptions because of COVID, and they're going to be doing 2 days of racing out of New London. So there'll be no Block Island. But it'll still be a good 2-day event. And I'll get to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. And it's great. You wave to them from your boat. You don't have to get any closer if you're not wanting to take any chances. So that's it for that. Well, just to give an idea of the condition of lack of organization and mess the boat is in. It's getting a little better, so I've taken more stuff off the boat, but still have a lot of things. And what this doesn't show you is underneath this floor there's storage areas, and I have a lot of stuff in there too. That's for future projects with the electrical system. But trying just to organize things to keep stuff out of the way of the current projects. So while the water tank access project is finished and the fuel tank is out being rebuilt, we can hopefully refocus our energies back on the mast again, because I have some wires to test, because we're running out of time. Because if I need to replace any wires, I need to find out soon, so we'll have time to do it. My friend Bernie is away. He has been working on various projects of his own and has had no time to join me lately. But he's going to be coming back soon. We will show you those projects as they happen. Beautiful anonymous skies. Everything is so dirty. I'm looking forward to when they turn the water on and I can give this place a good once over. Next Friday, I receive my second of 2 vaccine shots. And if it goes like it seems to go with some people, I might be feeling poorly on Saturday. So hopefully that won't interfere with my things I want to get done. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please put comments below. And see you next time. Thank you.